Something's happening in Groarty Primary School. Everybody's talking and listening. Learning how to listen to and to tell stories. And there's paperwork to do as well. Mrs. Thompson lends a hand.
Okay, you can stop now. Thank you very much. Hands up anyone who felt really listened to.
Everyone's getting ready for some very special visitors. Past pupils of Groarty Primary School. They're going to tell everyone about what school was like in times gone by. All about the war and the border and how it affected their lives. Everyone's been busy preparing. Some have been asking their grandparents about their lives and reporting back to the class.
Life, it wasn't too hard, but it wasn't okay. She hasn't ever smuggled. She walked to school every day. She didn't know anybody who did smuggle. Her food was sometimes nice, and her food wasn't smuggled. Her short story was whenever she got left behind on a beach.
The school has a very long history. It was originally opened in 1865. But here's a photograph of the keys being handed over after a new extension was built, a long time ago too. The special visitors arrive, and it's not long until the first questions.
Why was there no heating?
But in those days, even to heat water, you had to put it on the fire. Your mammy, your daddy, your granda had to get up early and light the fire so that you would get hot water. Every classroom had an open fire, you know, like the one you used to have in your own house maybe, used to have, right? And what you had to do, everybody brought in some coal every day, otherwise you wouldn't have had a fire. But the one thing I hated, you used to get free milk. You don't get it anymore, no?
No, I'd have to pay for it.
Oh no, you used to get a little bottle of free milk. Okay, every child got one. And because it was so cold, the teacher would have brought it in and put it beside the fire. And I hated taking the hot milk.
He's right. I can recall being at school here in the late 50s, and Mr. Houston was the principal then, and he had a classroom which was set over there. It was aluminium frame and big windows, so there was plenty of light coming in, but there was two stoves. One as you came in the door in the front right corner, and then there was another one was down the back, and they had rails around them so no one could sit up against them.
Did you or anyone you know smuggle?
Both points you have to answer yes. And I'll tell you the story about the smuggling of the butter, the pound of butter. And that's when it was more expensive here in Derry, or less expensive here than it was in Bridgend where I lived at. And I would have gone into Littlewoods on a Saturday morning and got a pound of butter among other things. I would have rode my bicycle out, sometimes out the main road, and watched to see if the customer was standing out or not. And if he wasn't standing out, I would take a chance and pedal the bicycle as hard as I could and get past him. Sometimes I got away, sometimes I was caught.
How is life different now to how it was when you were young?
I first came to Groarty School in 1928. I remember my mother bringing me to school here. I will put it a wee rhyme. My mother brought me to Groarty School, I dare remember well. What amused me most on the first days there was the teacher ringing the bell. We're talking about school here. This just comes under my mind. The Lord said, if no running water, no one like this, that's all right. There's no running water, but I remember here, I was sent down to the well. There was a well down there for a bucket of water. It was brought up, it was set in what we call the cloakroom in there, now it's the staff room, and a tin pan beside it. And everybody got a drink out of that, but when I went down to the well, A rat swam across it and up the pipe. I suppose the rat lived there, did that every day. And I brought that on in that water and there's no talk about it. I'm 90 and I'm here yet.
That's it.
There were stories about school, the Second World War, and smuggling across the border. All too soon, it was time for the visitors to leave. Everyone got to see the old school attendance book, customs notices from the border, border pass books. Mrs. Thompson brought a family album. That's her in the pram, just 4.5 months old. And there was a replica ration book from World War II.
And why was the border made? Does anyone know?
So, what did everyone learn?
In the World War II, people used to go across the border and they had to show their ID.
In World War II, people used to smuggle eggs in their underwear to get past the border. In World War II, people used to smuggle things across the border in their luggage.
My granda told me that they used to send someone over on a bike to see if the soldiers were there so they could pass.
My mum told me that you weren't allowed any diesel or petrol from the south to the north or from the north to the south.
The people smuggled from Donegal to Derry. People smuggled meat, sugar and meat. People smuggled things like ham, cheese and chicken. I knew I was at the border when I saw the customs people. People smuggled butter, lady smuggled chicken under their dresses, people smuggled because they had no food. People smuggled because they were not allowed to eat that much food in a week.
Did you know people smuggled food and cows many years ago? And they smuggled milk for their tea.
People smuggled because there was no rationing over the border.
People smuggled because of rationing in Northern Ireland.
Customs stopped people smuggling. If you went to Donegal, you had to get a stamp on a card.
My granddad fought in the World War I and II.
Where are you all coming from?
Buncrana!
Have you got anything to declare?
No!